just make this real quick. 22 tells you who gave it to him. 27 says he gets to. And 29 tells you where you're going to go, either this way or that way.
Okay.
That's what it says. And you can look it up for yourself. John chapter 5, verses 22 through 29. And what can be more powerful and righteous than being able to call out who is going to glory and who is going to condemnation? Only one gets to do that. We are not qualified. We have faults. We have sins. We have been disobedient. To know that we want the true righteous judge is even wisdom in itself.
Exactly.
So why not seek him? Verse 17 says, I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. Those who love me will have it reciprocated. And with that love, there's some work for you to love wisdom. Remember, cry. Turn your ear up. Apply it to your heart. Pray for understanding. And search like it is a lost treasure. The love is in your obedience to seek the word. Wisdom wants to reward those that seek her out. There are blessings for seeking out wisdom, and wisdom is waiting for us to call on her. It's waiting. The true blessing is that seeking out wisdom shows that you the will of God and how to put your flesh in spiritual actions instead of fleshly actions. You read Galatians 3 and 28, it tells you they're at war, but the spirit's supposed to win, not the flesh. If you want to knock your flesh out, use his word.
Apply the word.
If you want to use your word, then the flesh gonna knock you out. It is a protector, because how do you fight the flesh? But by knowing and applying the word of God. And that's not just my own personal flesh either. That's your flesh when it steps to my flesh. That's your flesh when it annoys my flesh, or when my flesh annoys you. So in verse 18 it says, with me are riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity. If you look at the riches that wisdom provides, you will see the same things that Solomon saw. You're going to see them. He needed wisdom to help him through life in a godly manner. Not in a Solomon manner, but in a godly manner. And to guide his actions. We need to see that. These riches that Solomon speaks of are deposited by the Lord into us. The Lord will fill you up if you want him to fill you up. He'll fill you up if you want him to fill you up. Earthly wealth had, and still in some cases, corrupts man. It corrupts him. You can see some of these people we just talked about, those people jumping out the building when the stock market crashed. But godly wisdom is saying, that's a long way down. And I wasn't dependent on that money in the first place. I was dependent on the Lord.
Amen.
See, the true wisdoms are more enduring and more beneficial than any amount of wealth that you can think that you may have on this world. And don't forget, this wealth is temporary. I don't care how wealthy you are, you will die. Everybody got that date. I don't know when it's going to be, but you got a date with it. So if you don't know God, the money can't help you. See, if you know God and you got somebody, that's a good thing. You don't have to have the money, but you got to have God. Period. My fruit is better than fine gold. Uh-oh. What I yield surpasses choice silver. The fruit here is the benefit that is delivered to us from the wisdom. Uh-oh. It ain't what you thought it was. And it is better than anything man can produce. Better than anything that man can produce or add value to. Wisdom gives life, and money can't give life. We just spoke about the Pharaoh, King Tut, he dead. That money didn't bring him back. Money can't give life. The inheritance also does not come from money. It doesn't come from money. Anybody want to read Ecclesiastes 7, 11 through 12?
Wisdom, like an inheritance, is a good thing and benefits
those who see the sun. Wisdom is a shelter, as money is a shelter. But the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it.
Uh-oh. Money don't preserve nothing. I had money when I was a kid, and I'm old. It ain't preserved my youth. Money don't preserve nothing. Money will fade, die. Even the United States burns money. It preserves nothing. The Lord, though, I'll let him fill me up with one of them bell jars he got up there cooking on his stove. I'll go right there. Verse 20 says, I walk in the way of righteousness along the paths of justice. The only way that you can walk in the way of righteousness is by knowing his word and applying it. Period. If you don't know it, if you don't know him, he's the one that's righteous. He gives you the righteousness. You don't get to wake up and say, oh, I'm righteous. No, it don't work that way. Jesus leads you in his walk, and the Spirit is on the walk with you. Christ is the only one that can lead you in true righteousness. And it's stated, that is why he is a judge. See, he ain't got no favorites. That's my boy. They bought me some shoes. I didn't like that one when I was a kid, so I don't like them now. He don't have those kind of ticky-tack things. His justice is always fair and without favorites. You can go back to James 3 and 17 and on the first page, but look at Peter speaking wisdom that was bestowed upon him in Acts 10, 34 and 35. Anybody want to read that?
Then Peter began to speak. I now realize how true it is that God does not show favoritism, but accept from every nation the one who fears him and does what is right.
Now, can you remember how Peter was hot-headed when Jesus kept telling him to pray, and then he cut my man's ear off to this time when he's speaking? Do you see the growth that came? Because he submitted himself even more so to the Lord. And the more you submit, the more wisdom you get. And Peter said, I know. I now realize it. I realize it. God don't show favoritism. Hey, that's wisdom. God don't show favoritism. He accepts from every nation. He came for every nation. He died for sinners. Don't be fooled and think God is just the God of USA. He's the God of the world. The problem with the world is we keep going against what he says. If he's God for the world, why are we fighting with our brothers and sisters? Lack of wisdom. Bestowing a rich inheritance on those who love me and making their treasures full. This speaks to the receiving of grace. Substance is the grace that we have received. The true love that the Lord has shown us is wisdom's reward, because he continues to give to us, and we will have rich inheritance if we stay on the path of wisdom. Stay on the path of wisdom. Substance is Christ, and substance are salvation. Anybody want to read Hebrews 10 and 34?
For ye had compassion of me and my bonds, and took joyfully the spoils of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and an enduring substance.
Uh-oh, there go that substance. But look at faith. Watch faith now. Anybody want to read Hebrews 11 and 1?
Now faith is the substance.
Hold it, stop. What is faith?
The substance.
Okay.
Of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Uh-oh. So when we go to that substance, it all comes from the Lord. It's the Lord's. In closing, wisdom's reward is the fruit that comes from knowing the Lord, and the diligence that we should seek it, and how we operate this fleshly body in a spiritual manner, away from our own thoughts and our own actions. And we ask the Lord to give us discretion and to make us think about him in all our activities. Call on him in all our actions as Christ did. And we can't ask for a better example, because Christ is it, and he did it.
Amen.
If you really want wisdom, seek out what Christ did. And he called upon the Father in everything. Amen?
Amen.
Any questions, comments?
Good stuff, man.
Father's Day to everybody. We will be getting back to church pretty soon. People getting excited. Get excited. But while you're at home, get excited about the Word. Get in your Word. Stay in your Word. Read up on it. You got some time to read. If you're saying I'm sleepy, wake up and read the Word. Wake up and read the Word. If you a Netflix binging person, turn that TV off.
Shut it off.
I have to catch myself sometime. And yes, the third season is still going to be there a month later. So if you're out there, keep in the Word, stay in the Word. It will help you. To all our kids, we miss you. We praying for you. We hoping the school year really helps you out. Call upon the church for some help too. Don't be afraid to call your church. We want to help you out if you just call upon us. Parents, that might mean you might have to step up and call upon us also, which is a great thing. To all the fathers that are out there, happy Father's Day. To all the mothers who stepped in and did fatherly duties. We gonna take that. Happy Father's Day to you too, because some of y'all was by yourself, and you know what? You raised a young man or young men. And we grateful for you too, because some of us are a product of that. And to you grandmothers and grandfathers, we thank you all the time anyway, because without you, none of us would be here. We know that the wisdom that you gave was just a blessing in itself. Amen. Anybody want to pray us out?
Thank you, Heavenly